the velocity of money in the world and the actual economy will increase considerably. Like the amount of net world output growth in those other areas was like million X over some period of time. It was just extraordinary. And we see that.
Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another CYPRX video banger. In today's video breakdown, I'm going to do my best to show you all a ton of information that the mainstream is never going to show you guys, proving that they are for a fact having closed door meetings discussing and talking about the building out of the new financial infrastructure, how digital assets are going to play a major role in the future, and how we are on the cusp of experiencing exponential growth, not only in this crypto ecosystem, but in this digital infrastructure that they are currently building out right now behind the scenes. And you are not going to want to miss out on this massive wealth transfer. So in today's video breakdown, we're going to be playing video clips. I'm going to be reading fundamentals for you guys, and again, showing you all information that is never going to reach the mainstream. So if you all enjoy these video breakdowns, do us a favor, smash that thumbs up button and subscribe. You guys know that they tend to suppress YouTube channels and videos like this, so it does help boost the algorithm if you smash that thumbs up button and make sure that you're subscribed. With that being said, let's share screen. I want to share and set the tone for today's video breakdown by sharing this video breakdown. Okay. This is a video clip that I've played before, and it's of a individual representative from a SEC registered organization. And she goes on to mention that having 0% allocated, where she gets asked the question, what should financial institutions have allocated to this space? And she says having 0% allocated to this space is the wrong answer. So just take a second and listen here to what she says. This is going to set the tone for the entirety of the remainder of this video breakdown.
And from your perspective, what is the appropriate level of allocation that institutional investors should consider when they're looking at bringing digital assets into a portfolio?
So what I'd like to say is that zero allocation to the space is the wrong answer. More than 2 to 10%, 10% if you can't stand it, if you're not all in on the space, is also the wrong answer. This is a nascent asset class. It is risky, but what has us all excited about the space, it's the asymmetry of risk reward. So
right. So I'll leave it there. I just wanted to set the tone for today's video breakdown. You have an SEC registered organization on stage, probably sitting in front of regulators, large financial institutions, and organizations at that, telling them that having 0% allocated to this space is the wrong answer. Okay. Now we're going to head over here to the CYPRX Research X profile. If you guys do not follow our researchers on the X space, head over to X and follow CYPRX Research Labs official. They are consistently dropping gems that go relatively unnoticed in the mainstream. And they just recently posted this one, which I find very interesting because reading the document, and in their document, they're talking about the building out of the new financial system. So here you can see this is a closed door meeting that took place. Shout out to the CYPRX research team. They posted this just the other day. Bank of England's vision for the future of payments. Insights from Ali. I'm not going to butcher this gentleman's name. Head of payment strategy. Central bank must innovate with new wholesale central bank money. Focus on wholesale CBDCs, crucial for financial stability. Now, you can see here, this is a closed door meeting that they're having that's never going to reach the likes of the mainstream. But if we look over here, okay, pay attention to what's sitting on the table right here. Okay, this is a document. All right, this is a document, and if we head over here, this is what we found on LinkedIn, and you can see right here. This is again the meeting, and I want you guys to fixate your attention on this document. Okay, we're going to come back to this. All right. Here's the document right here. Let me share screen with you guys. And we're going to come back to this. We're going to read on this. But this is the document that's sitting on the desk behind this closed door meeting at this panel discussion, or at this closed door symposium where they're discussing and talking about the future financial system. DMI Journal, this is from July 2024. Tokenization, the new rails of finance. Now, this closed door meeting that took place, okay, this is only from 2 days ago. So this is updated as of time of recording this particular video breakdown. It is the 8th of October. Okay, so this meeting just recently happened. And what's sitting on their desk is, again, this DMI journal from July, and it's labeled Tokenization, the New Rails of Finance. All right, we're going to come back to this. Actually, as a matter of fact, let's just start here. So I asked Chat PDF, after plugging in this PDF, the Chat PDF, I said, does this PDF mention anything about them building a new financial system? We're going to come back and we're going to read this. And it says, yes. The PDF discusses the potential for building a new financial system through advancements in digital money and tokenization. We'll leave it there. I want to play 2 video clips, okay? Both highly reputable individuals confirming that this new financial infrastructure is for a fact being built. Just take a second and let's listen here.
I'll take you from the specific to the general and in increasing generality. But let me start with this. I think it's fundamental to discuss that we're living in an exponential evolution of technology era, right? And this implies that the digital realm is touching our everyday lives ever more. And when we thought about financial exclusion in the past, we could thought that it was bad because people would not get access to financial services. But if we think in financial exclusion right now, we can actually keep people out of society. So that is something that modern societies would not want to see. Now, given this situation, we have to see what our financial market infrastructures look like today, in terms of the capabilities of processing transactions, in terms of the capability of producing different business cases and functionalities on a production scale that can serve this very big demand that is coming due to this digitalization process. And we can realize immediately that we need new financial market infrastructure. So Tony mentioned that in
the US or private markets, and that's been pretty slow to move for a number of reasons. There are a lot of folks focused on the tokenization of property. All of these things are starting to move, but they're moving slowly in that the assurance of the technology, and particularly a lot of this is on blockchain technology, the assurance that you need often in a regulated environment bears witness to the scrutiny of quite a few pilots and making sure that the technology actually works and does the job and is reasonably resilient. And so I think that's all starting to happen now, which is why the future, really, the next decade, will probably see the wholesale replacement or certainly addition of new digital financial market infrastructure.
And as you say,
right. So I just wanted to play both of those video clips because it goes hand in hand with what this document is talking about. They are, for a fact, building out a new financial market infrastructure. And I just want to show you guys, by the way, I do apologize. I'm like muting my screen off camera because I'm horribly sick. I don't know if you guys can tell. So if I start hacking up a lung, I do apologize. But look at this. Okay. This particular video breakdown that I just showed you guys, literally titled Digital Transformation, from 5 months ago, has 31 freaking views, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. This just goes to show that nobody is paying attention to these types of video breakdowns, which is why if you enjoy this type of deep research and this type of content, it would literally bless this channel if you'd smash that thumbs up button, because they are, for a fact, somehow keeping this information suppressed. At least that's my opinion, because look at this as another, again, video breakdown where this gentleman was talking about the digital transformation, new financial market infrastructure, 430 freaking views. Come on now. This video breakdown where the lady literally confirms that having 0% allocated to this space, 680 views, people. If you go on TikTok right now, you go on whatever's trending on YouTube right now, you're looking at 10 million views plus. Okay. Nobody is paying attention to this information. And what I'm going to share with you today is mind blowing, and you are not going to want to miss out on this wealth transfer. So make sure that you stick around for the entirety of this video. Now, I know that this print is pretty fine, so I'm apologize, but I'm going to read it as best as I can. But one thing I want you all to pay attention to in this document, in this PDF, the OMF DMI journal, okay, where it talks about the new financial market infrastructure, is where they go on to mention various forms of digital currency. So I'm going to read this. It says, new engines, new rules. Experts gather in London to discuss the future of finance. This is, again, that document that was sitting on the board right here at this meeting that they just had a couple days ago. This is the document that's sitting right in front of all of them. Okay, so keep that in mind. If we head back over to the document and we read this, it says, as developments in digital money gain traction, the future of our financial system stands to look radically different. To discuss these developments and more, experts on central bank digital currencies, payment tokenization, and artificial intelligence gathered in Knightsbridge, OMFIF's 2024 Digital Money Summit. This is back a couple of months ago. This is the event down here that they're talking about, okay? Against a lively atmosphere, I'll skip through some of this. First, Augustin Carstens, that's the general manager of the Bank of International Settlements, for those of you all who don't know, has made it a central tenet of the BIS vision for the future of financial markets with his Finternet paper. The paper calls for a completely interconnected network of financial ecosystems on which a broad range of financial and non-financial assets would be represented in tokenized format and able to automatically swap for tokenized versions of cash in various currencies. Okay, it mentions that specifically in this document. Now, I have no idea why they are suppressing this information. It is my personal opinion that it is because they know how much life-changing wealth is about to come for those who get into this space, this nascent asset class, early adopters. And I'm going to show you that in today's video breakdown, that they're talking about transformational wealth and trillions of dollars coming into this space, okay, as we get to the longer portion of this video breakdown. Okay, but because it mentions various currencies, do you guys remember this representative on stage? Let me play this video clip. She mentions the same exact thing.
Definitely in terms of the recent CBDC pilot, I think it was interesting what came out of that, and very interesting to see CBDCs as a complement to other forms of private money. I don't think we'll have just one form of digital currency in the future. We'll have many, and they'll have different strengths.
Right? So she said, I don't think that we'll just have one form of digital currency in the future. We'll have many, and they'll all have different strengths. Okay. Now, here is another video clip of an individual representative on stage talking about how they are, again, participating in this new financial system because they see it as an opportunity and they don't want to get left behind.
To do in Parliament is to get ourselves up to pace with this industry and this sector. So working across the House of Commons and the House of Lords, when I started, it was very much with a consumer protection focus, which remains at the core of the work we're doing in the Parliament. I had a constituent contact me, which of course is where all of our work emanates from, our constituents who had experienced a rug pull scam. And at that point in time, we weren't really doing anything in the Parliament. There had been no debate. There were very few questions. But we looked at what was happening across the UK, and millions of people were engaged in the sector. So we knew that there was no going back, that this sector is here to stay, and that actually what we need to do is manage the consumer risks, put the regulation in place, and harness the potential. Because when we looked at this industry very closely with the blockchain technological advancements, we felt we really have a digital generation ahead, and this is like a new industrial revolution, but it's going to be more than industry. It's going to be culture and art, sports, etc. So we need to get ahead of it, and we want the UK to be at the helm of this moving forward.
She literally just said that they need to grasp this because we have a digital evolution. She literally said a fourth industrial revolution ahead of us. They need to grasp these new technologies because it's going to be involved and incorporated in everything. People, come on now. This video has 124 views. Let's get 100, 200, 300 thumbs ups on this video so that more people are awake and aware of what's happening. Okay. How is nobody paying attention to what's happening behind the scenes? Again, it is because they're distracted by mainstream resources, by their Netflix, their Hulu, their Disney Plus that has them sedated and distracted from what's happening right now. There is a massive transformation happening behind the scenes, and they obviously, of course, the people in control of the financial infrastructure and all these large organizations, they're openly talking about it. This information is not hidden. But yet again, I've shown you guys multiple times that for some odd reason, these video breakdowns get no views. They get no commentary. They get no, they get no airtime. It's so sad that so many people are going to get left behind. Now, let's transition because I want to play a video clip that Mr. Mann shared on his YouTube channel. We'll get into that in just 1 second. And it's an individual representative from BlackRock mentioning how exponential the growth of the digital asset ecosystem is and will continue over the next consecutive couple of years. But first, I want to play this video clip, 2 video clips actually, of Jeremy Allaire mentioning that this is going to be exponential and that the growth of this ecosystem is on the cusp of exploding over the next consecutive couple of years. And we are on the verge of experiencing all of that right now. So just take a second and listen to these 2 video clips from Jeremy Allaire.
You know, as I like to say, we're sort of just kind of hitting the 1.0 vision for what we think this could be, which is essentially a world where the marginal cost of storing and moving value goes to zero, and where the user experience of like transacting over these mediums is as simple and seamless as the other kinds of user experiences that we have with major categories of software utilities on the internet. We're not quite there. We're getting really, really close. And so I think maybe over the next year, I think we'll get there on that utility. And then I think it starts to get really interesting. You know, when internet utilities made the marginal cost of, say, storing and moving information zero, or the marginal cost of having a communications connection to someone zero, or the marginal cost of distributing software effectively became zero. When you change the fundamental unit economics, the kind of net world output of that thing goes fairly exponential. And I think that will be similar with money and transactions. So it strikes me that as we approach that point, the velocity of money in the world, in the actual economy, will increase considerably. Like the amount of net world output growth in those other areas was like $1,000,000x over some period of time. It was just extraordinary. And we see that.
Right. So he just mentioned 1,000,000x and he mentioned exponential growth. Okay. Now listen to his projection on how that is potentially set to come into fruition over the next 12 months. Listen to what he says here.
Yeah, I think, you know, there are a lot of forward-leaning payment companies like Stripe or, you know, neobanks and others that are starting to use stablecoins, which is great, but the use is pretty small. In terms of like enterprises, meaning major companies, it's very small. And we still have a critical thing that needs to happen. And the good news is it is happening, which is that stablecoins need to be considered legal electronic money. They need to be treated as a cash equivalent instrument on a balance sheet. So an accountant or a finance person in a company can say, okay, this is digital cash, and I can account for it and I can report on it. And once it's valid, it's a valid form of money legally. And you have that consistently around the world, which we will. Then I think the uses by every type of institution will explode, right? Because you need the technical utility to be there, and I think we're solving that. You need the legal certainty there in order for people to take it on, because I can't tell you how many like large...
He literally just said the uses by every financial institution will explode. Okay, come on now, pay attention to detail.
Companies, if you have a conversation, they go, I don't know what this is, and I can't, it's like really hard for me to account for this, and so therefore I'm not going to do anything, even if the technical utility is strong.
And what do you think it takes us to get there?
I mean, basically, there's stablecoin laws that are being passed in every major financial market center in the world. They're either passed or coming into law over the next 12 months. And so I think that's basically happening. So that's the good news. And so I think technical progress with infra and UX and legal certainty sets up the conditions for this to be pretty explosive in terms of usage beyond that.
Pretty explosive in terms of usage beyond that, 1,000,000x exponential growth. And he said it's all happening. It's happening right now behind the scenes, which is, again, why I believe firmly that they are suppressing this type of information from going mainstream or from getting a whole bunch of likes and views and airtime, because they know what's happening. Here is a document put out by Galaxy. Okay. Crypto adoption is on par with early internet adoption. Look at where we're at right now and tell me that there aren't massive opportunities ahead of us. Because right now, look at this. 2024, we are at where we were back in 1997 with internet adoption, and we are only set to experience exponential growth, as you heard multiple panelists in today's video breakdown mention. Now, this goes hand in hand with what Mr. Mann, if you guys do not follow Mr. Mann, one of our CYPRX researchers on YouTube, he has a phenomenal YouTube channel, Mr. Mann Crypto Talk. Go check his information and his channel out. He also has an X profile with dropping lots of gems. But listen to what he shared here with the BlackRock representative, literally mentioning the same exact thing that document just displayed. Take a second and listen here.
Thematic investing at BlackRock, I really spend a lot of my time thinking about the future and some of the disruptive changes that are impacting the world and society and the economy and our portfolios around us. Oftentimes, this is about disruptive technologies. Oftentimes, it's about societal changes. But what we found with blockchain and digital assets is that in some ways, this is one of the fastest growing technologies we've seen in the last few years. On the right-hand side of the chart, you can see our adoption curve. This is just looking at how quickly certain assets are adopted by society. And you can see that blockchain and digital assets are being adopted faster than major revolutions before it, whether that's the internet or whether that's cell phones. And there's a couple of reasons for this.
Right. So I won't play the video any longer. I just wanted you all to hear directly from one of the largest, if not the largest financial institution on the face of this earth, BlackRock, mention this. Okay. If that does not pique your interest, to at least start to educate yourself about this space. Now, let me solidify this video breakdown. Again, shout out to all the CYPRX researchers. CYPRX Research Lab official X profile just posted this. This is a document, Europe's crypto market report. Okay. The state of digital assets in Europe, DL Research. All right. In this document, they talk about MiCA driving growth, assets, tokenization, booming, younger investors entering the space, custody services, so on and so forth. Lots of table of contents here, so much to digest. But one thing in particular, I wanted to bring everybody's attention to. Here's the document right here that we found on LinkedIn. This gentleman, Arjun, I'm not going to butcher this gentleman's name. But if we head over here to the document, okay, this is the last piece that I want to play for you guys. Again, do me a favor, smash that thumbs up button, subscribe. I apologize, I'm sick, and hopefully you guys can tell I'm like freaking hacking out along when I mute my mic. But look at what it freaking says here, okay? This is phenomenal. Just to wrap everything up, showed you guys that they are building out a new financial system, that multiple digital assets in the future are going to play a role. Utility and use case is the focus. Jeremy Allaire confirmed exponential growth, million X. Like it's only going to get or go up from here. Okay. Looking back, I'd say 5 to 10 years from now, this market, the digital asset space is going to look like a freaking hockey stick. Yes, there's going to be trials and tribulations. Yes, there's going to be short-term volatility, and you're going to have to stomach that if you're an early adopter. That's part of the game. Not every digital asset that you're invested in is going to survive, and that's just the honest truth, okay? But for those individuals that do their research, that tap in, that stay committed to holding these assets long-term and participating as an early adopter in this space will experience this life-changing wealth. So look at what it says, 2025 and beyond, the great wealth transfer could perpetuate these generational divides. The great wealth transfer could perpetuate these generational divides. Over the next 30 years, those born after 1980 will inherit an estimated $1 trillion globally. Millennials and Gen Z are more socially and environmentally conscious than past generations when it comes to investing, and their familiarity with Web3 investments could pressure TradFi institutions to make changes. And you've heard all the video clips starting at the beginning. Remember how I started this off of the individual representatives saying that financial institutions having 0% allocated to this space is the wrong answer. Smash that thumbs up button and subscribe. I always try to full circle video breakdowns for you guys. This is physical proof that financial institutions are waking up. You even heard that representative from the UK Parliament mentioned that they're getting involved because they don't want to get left behind. They see the potential of this space, and they know that we are headed into a fourth industrial revolution and that everything is going to be tokenized and digitized in the near future. All right. Many blessings to you guys. Hopefully you all enjoyed this video breakdown. Again, if you did, smash that thumbs up button and subscribe. We do appreciate the love and the support. Shout out to all the CYPRX researchers that put in so much time and effort behind the scenes to find all these documents, these hidden video clips for you guys that have no views whatsoever. It is so mind-blowing that people have no idea what is happening. So share video breakdowns like this with your friends, with your family members. My platforms like CYPRX, the YouTube, the X profile, the research labs profiles, Mr. Man's profiles, share all that information, that content with your friends and your family members that you're trying to wake up so they don't get left behind in this massive wealth transfer that we're set to experience. As always, be cognizant, be aware out there. None of this is financial advice. Always do your own personal research and assess your risk properly. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video breakdown.